CWSFL is back for casual draft night here for the season 13 draft. Man, we got us 25 amazing prospects that are getting ready to join the Casual World Simulation Football League and start their careers. They're about to find out what teams is going to be selecting them, where they're going in the draft, get to hear their name called, and figure out how this journey is going to start for them. A lot of players entering certain positions, most of them just athletes because they can play just about anywhere, and they're about to really make a name for themselves. We would find out who's going to be maybe some early candidates from Rookie of the Year based on positions they're at. But, ooh, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's Around the World Sports Network here for the casual draft night here in the CWSFL with our Season 13 draft prospects. It's going to be a lot of fun. We cannot wait to see who the Ghana Gazelles pick with that first pick when they come up on the clock. Then we get to see the Sao Paulo Pumas come up right after. Two expansion teams have not quite found their way here in the league. Are going to try to get us started here tonight. Both teams have a lot of holes they need to fill, so you could kind of see anywhere go. This is also one of the first drafts here in the CWSFL where that number one overall pick is kind of a mystery. Those top guys here in the draft is a little bit of a question mark. We're not quite sure who some of these teams are leaning towards. In years past, we've kind of had almost a guaranteed first overall, or at least top 3 pick. Now we got the Gazelles, who are officially on the clock for the Season 13 draft. It is finally started. We're here, and we get to find out who goes number 1. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of holes to fill for the Gazelles, so we'll have to see how they choose to do it. But it looks like they're getting ready to come up to the podium with Dante Green looking to make that selection as the general manager here of Ghana. And with that first overall pick here, the Ghana Gazelles are going to take David Badmus, defensive back. Man, is that a good one. Dog in the prospect games. Really came on late too into it. And when he did, man, he did not slow up. Took home a couple defensive MVPs as well, I believe. David is a strong defensive back, man. Can play mostly he's a cornerback, but if you need to, man, you can put him at safety a little bit. Just all around shut down DB. But man, could be a dangerous defensive back to put in Ghana. Now we're headed to the Sao Paulo Pumas, the other expansion team. They're on the clock here. The offense is young. It looks all right. Again, you know, got some holes still to fill, but the offense is young. They're building together. Chemistry is starting to go after a good, I guess like a good start to some of their rookie seasons last year. Jackson Graves is going to try to lead that team there. And they got a new general manager, Cristiano Ronaldo, making the first selection here for his Sao Paulo Puma days. And nobody other than Derek Matthews, a defensive back, man. Dog. Another one that came on late in the prospect bowls next to David. And, man, Derek was when he came on, man, he came on. It was going to be interesting to see how the Pumas use him. He's a little bit more of a can play safety or corner here in the league probably. I think he might fit more back at a safety position, but it's going to be good to see how the Pumas choose to play him, especially alongside Ronaldo. Man, that's going to be could be 2 good defensive backs there for a few seasons to come, as both of them now are going to be very young. Berlin Hellhounds are on the clock. One of their earliest picks they've ever had. They usually are picking in the later rounds. If they have an earlier pick, they had to make a trade for it. Didn't happen here today, but the Berlin Hellhounds are going to select Rainer Ludwig Clausen. Wow. Running back. Is this going to be a Axel Axman backup situation here? Are they going to run a 2-back set like they used to back in some of the Jaquan Freesmith eras of that Berlin Hellhounds team? Or how are they going to choose to play this here? Recreate here in the CWSFL, I believe a distant relative, something like that to Robert Burns Woodard. We'll have to find out here more behind the stage how they're related. But we got family coming into Berlin. Great pickup there. Athlete, listed as a running back in the draft, but really more of an athlete. Can play wherever is needed. We're going to have to see how they get used in Berlin. Great pickup right there with the third selection. And now we're here with the Bermuda Blackguard. Man, coming in with the 4th pick, probably one of the best 3 and 7 teams we've ever seen in the CWSFL last season. They mean business this year as they're coming in after a good start to Melly Perez's GM career, and he's now getting started with Moon Landing Stage, star-studded defensive back. 3 DBs have already gone here in the first 4 picks. Wow. This is looking like everybody's trying to fill out their secondary with some young prospects, and this looks like a draft that could be a good one. Moon Landing Stage is going to come into Bermuda in a weaker defense, more offensive-minded team, and he's going to look to try to really make a name for himself in that secondary. And we're going to see how it plays out for him. But the Polar Bears, Minnesota, on the clock now. They got this pick originally from the Pegasi in an all-season trade that happened. And they have 3 first-round picks here. Not something you see a lot with the Polar Bears. They don't usually go trade for picks, and they don't usually give up picks. And now they have 3 first-round picks. We're going to get to see how they choose to use the first one here. And it looks like it's going to be on De Los Santos, the linebacker. Wow. Lost legendary linebacker Hex Holy Cross this offseason. Retired. Called it a career. Credible career. And now they're going to be replacing that spot with a young De Los Santos. He came in late into this draft. Didn't even know he's going to be a prospect in Season 13 draft. Came in late, jumped in on one of the last prospect polls, took home the defensive MVP, and immediately everybody was like, who is that guy? Good pickup on the first of 3 for the Polar Bears here in this first round. Now we're here sitting at Egypt, looking at the Pharaohs. How are they going to do it? St. Laurent Dior came in as GM, broke the curse, got them to the playoffs, took them 7-3 last year in year number 1. Couldn't get much better than that. You couldn't ask for much better than that as a first season for a general manager on a team that took over a spot that didn't really have an identity. He gave them an identity, and now he's added Terrell Simmons, an athletic linebacker, to that defense to go up with Taj Leatherwood and a nasty defensive line that is, wow, that's going to be making some noise this year. And that defense, man, they're trying to make some things happen, especially after getting Cletus McGee from the Pumas on the D-line, and Terrell Simmons in the middle at linebacker. Wow. Pharaohs are making some noise here, and they're going to try to get it done in a little weaker East that still is looking to recover. The Polar Bears are back on the clock again. Polar Bears took De Los Santos on their last pick, pick 5th overall. We're here for the 7th overall pick. And they're probably going to be looking at defense again. We'll see how they choose to do it. And they do. They go with Cameron Avero, linebacker, man. Another one. They're adding to the defense. The offense, they got Ragnar. They got Cody Parks. They got Janjettas, man. You know that offense is going to be taken care of. It's going to be doing what they do. They got 2 good offensive linemen. They still got Cloud at tight end. That offense is going to do what it does. Now you're adding 2 good young linebackers that get to learn from a veteran, probably future Hall of Famer in Paul Blackman. Great pickups right there for the Polar Bears. 2 strong first-round picks from them. Man, this has been a defensive-heavy first round so far. And we're going to see if the Argos Pegasi, who got this pick from the Bangkok Pandas, who do not have a pick this draft. We'll see if the Pegasi choose to continue this defensive trend we've been seeing here. Are they going to go offense like the Hellhounds did with that 3rd pick? It's going to be because they need a little bit of both, so we'll see how they take it. They got another pick in the next round, and it looks like they go Jermaine Lancey, wide receiver. Wow, this guy, a little bit of an unknown. It's not because of his play or anything like that. Did great in the prospect bowls, showed out, did his thing, interviews. They say in scouting interviews he was incredible, answered every question that you needed, and he did it very professional as well. But Jermaine Lancey, we'll have to see how that plays out for the Pegasi. He's going up to see if he can save L's QB career after a little bit of a playoff fall off last year. Hopefully they can bounce back after losing a couple key playmakers this offseason. Jermaine Lancey could be in a prime spot to take that wide receiver 1 role and run with it. Now we got the Polar Bears back up for their last pick of the 3 in their first round. But we got pick 9 here, round 1, and it looks like Vander Sarasota, defensive lineman. Wow. They lost John Johnson in the offseason to the Houston Stags. They said we got to find his replacement in the draft. Cannot go this draft without filling that spot, and they did it. They get a pass rushing defensive lineman to put right there. We use him at DN, we use him in the middle. He's got great size, can play both, very versatile on the defensive line. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Polar Bears are going to use these 3 defensive players they got in this first round. Because the offense is there. They get this defense, man. The Polar Bears can make another run at it. What's crazy is they're going to have young players, man. So they'll be in a position to make something happen, man, over the next few seasons as well. It's going to be one you're going to want to see how it plays out. But the defending champions, your Gold Bowl 12 winners, Houston Stags, are on the clock here, and it looks like they're going to take Lederhosen Von McMillan. Wow. Ain't that something? A lineman who was so quick, man, had the footwork, agile, ooh, man, whatever you needed, man. He was nasty on the O-line. Somebody at the prospect poll said, nah, man, put you in the backfield. They did that. He won a couple offensive MVPs doing that as well. So, whatever coach, scout, trainer saw that, man, they need a job, because this guy, one of the most athletic players I've ever seen, and he's got crazy size. He's going to the Stags. Is he going to be backing up Yandy at the running back spot? Is he going to the O-line? I mean, who knows? But Lederhosen, man, somebody needs to figure out how he does it, because that dude is something. It has been a very defensive-heavy draft class, and it's looking like it could continue that way here in the second round, because again, a lot of these teams that are picking, they need defense, man. And the first round, Polar Bears, just because they had 3 picks, it's gonna be hard not to see how they didn't win that first round. But it's because they had 3 picks, man. They got their defensive players that they needed. They did exactly how it should. They did exactly what they wanted. Their script for this draft went as planned right there, and you cannot look away at that, because man, they took a team that has an amazing offense already, and they're giving them young defensive pieces that continue to try to contend and maximize the offense that they have. You can't look away at that. And then all right, we got the Ghana Gazelles getting ready to come on the clock here for the start of the second round, and man, they got David Badmus in that first overall pick at a defensive spot. They could go defense again here if they wanted to. They got Mike Vick Jr. at the quarterback spot. He's got Drew Davis he can throw to. He's got E at wide receiver. They could definitely Ken Carson at tight end, still great. Probably one of the best rookies from that past season. And it looks like you're gonna go Malik Payton, an athletic linebacker. Wow, see, Malik Payton is the one that I thought might squeeze into one of those Polar Bear spots when they needed a linebacker in that first round. It didn't quite happen. He fell here to the second round, first pick, and the Gazelles are not letting him go past this spot here, because man, he's a very good rookie. He's quick. A little bit, not so much on the pass rush side, so you may not see him on the outsides. If you put him in the middle, man, let him maybe man up on a tight end or a running back. You got yourself a top tier linebacker for the future right there for the Gazelles. And then the Sao Paulo Pumas are coming up on the clock here for the second pick in the second round. Again, another team here that has the offense. They got some holes to fill still on offense, but the offense is in a good position for the future. They got 2 good young wide receivers. They got a good young quarterback in Jackson Graves entering his second season, and it looks like they're gonna add him some help with Pablo Montoya, a receiving tight end. Man, this dude didn't get many targets in the prospect bowls. It might be why he fell a little bit, but this guy might be one of the most athletic tight ends we've ever seen here entering the CWSFL draft. We haven't seen what he does in the league yet, because well, we ain't there yet. We haven't seen him play. He's just now entering. But this guy is crazy athletic. You could put him in the slot. You could put him out at tight end. Honestly, you can put him in the backfield if you wanted to. And he'll be able to get it done. Just has not seen many targets. Has not been playing the game long. So could use a little bit of development with that little bridge from entering the CWSFL. But once he gets it down, man, the rest is history for Montoya. Berlin Hellhounds are on the clock for their second pick here in this draft. It's the third pick in the second round, and it's looking like they're going to go Mike Tron, another tight end, back to back, man, back to back. And would you look at that too? They got Reynolds at they got Reynolds, man, at tight end already, coming off 2 seasons in the league already. I believe he was he's one of the, maybe a Banana Bowler or like all gold team or something. So the tight end's good. So this is a position where you don't think he's going to stay at tight end, Gerard. But if he does, they could run a great 2-back set. Maybe bring some of those old New England Patriots offensive schemes into here. But no, he probably won't stay at tight end. A very good athlete. We'll have to see where he goes. Interesting pick, but it's word that if you know the Blackguard, or not the Blackguard, if you know Berlin, then you know they made it. They've got him a good pick, and they're going to use him the right way. Blackguard now are on the clock, and they had a pick earlier in Moon Landing Stage. They got a defensive back. It looks like they're adding to it here with Lord Magnus. Lord Magnus was a 4th round pick to the Sao Paulo Pumas last season in the season 12 draft. Here's where things get crazy because contract negotiations stalled out, couldn't figure anything out. He re-enters the draft, falls to the middle of the second round. Blackguard get him. Blackguard could have just got a top 5 talent right there if they could get them signed on roster and onto the field. If not, that's a tough one, but it is a risk-reward type situation, and I guess they think the reward outweighs the risk. So we'll have to see how that one plays out there. But the Pegasi on the clock here, they take Jermaine Lansing earlier, a wide receiver. Again, like I said, Jermaine has an opportunity to jump into that wide receiver 1 spot with Big P. Lehman this offseason. So they go for another one, and they're going to do just that. They get CJ James. Wow. CJ James, man, I don't know how many of y'all remember, what's his name? CJ Richardson, I think it was, here in the CWSFL. A former Lancer for a few seasons there, that BP era. Might have even won a wide receiver award during that time as well. Man, CJ James, family to Richardson there, coming in to the CWSFL now in the season 13 draft, but mid-round here in the second to the Pegasi. Interesting to see how that plays out. But Jermaine Lansing, CJ James, 2 good young linebackers at the Pegasi now will have moving forward. Now we have the Pharaohs coming in on the clock here with the 6th pick in the second round. We'll have to see how it chooses to go here from them, but it looks like the Egypt Pharaohs are going to select Andy Wooling, a power running back. Man, this guy does not have much tape, but let me tell you, at CWSFL Combine, man, he showed up in the Prospect Bowls. When he was weighing in, they was getting all the physicals and everything. This guy is a tank. Man, I don't know if he's going to be backing up Israel Hannibal in that backfield. If he's going to be switching positions. I don't know how they're going to use Andy Woolley, but this guy can play multiple spots wherever you need him because dude is a tank. And if he's at running back too, good luck trying to tackle him. Now we've got the Minnesota Polar Bears on the clock for the 7th pick here in the second round. And again, man, they've been defensive heavy already. I told y'all in between the 2 rounds, I think they won that first round. And it's not just because they got the 3 picks, so that they hit on all 3 of those picks, man. Those are great picks. Now they're going to try to do it again here. And they lost some pieces this offseason. And part of that, I guess, is filling in with a good young rookie wide receiver in Tank Johnson. Tank Johnson was a draft pick to the Gazelles in season 12. Contracts didn't quite work out. We're not quite sure what happened in that situation and why it couldn't work out. But Tank Johnson's here in the draft again. He goes late second round, goes to the Polar Bears. Could be a better situation for him as well. So sometimes that first draft for you, things may not work out, but maybe it's for the best. And Tank Johnson is going to the Polar Bears. Gets Cody Parks thrown to him. We'll see if he gets many targets though with Ragnar in that backfield. Now we got the Gazelles coming on the clock here from a trade that happened last season's offseason that got some picks moved around. Well, part of that deal was Pandas giving the Gazelle their second round pick and the season 13 draft, and that's where we are right here. We'll get to see the Ghana Gazelle select Peter Relish, a wide receiver, man. And this dude, not the quickest, not the fastest, not the biggest, but man, this guy can catch. If you throw it to him and it's in his area, as long as he gets a hand on it, he's coming down with it. It's where he's been all his whole career. Have to see if that transitions into the Cwsfl this upcoming season. But Peter, man, dude will catch whatever's in his area. Great pickup by the Gazelles to go with Yee and a young quarterback in Mike Vick Jr. We got Drew Davis still in the backfield looking to enter that second year as a running back for him. Drew Davis the third, man. They can find their groove. King Carson at tight end. Gazelles might have a good young offense ahead of them, especially if Peter Relish pans out. Now, Bermuda's on the clock here for 2 back-to-back picks, and neither one of these are their picks. One's from the Lancers, one from the Stags. We got to see how they choose to use it, and it looks like they're going to select Tim Tebow. Wow. This guy is coming in as a quarterback ready to sling it all over the field, but we're going to have to see who chooses to play quarterback because it was talks that he may want to be a tight end once he enters the league. We'll have to see how that plays out. Tim Tebow, though, did a great job in those prospect games. I believe they won him a offensive MVP as well. So I'll have to see how it plays out. He's got the skills and he's got the talent to be a quarterback. We'll just see if the Blackguard choose to develop it. But now they're on the clock here for their second pick. Last pick here in the second round, pick 10. 20th overall pick, though. We'll see how they choose to play it. Again, the Blackguard, probably one of the best 3-17s we've ever seen in the league. Came up short on the playoffs last year and are looking in year one of Nelly Brez's GM career, looking to see, or I guess career with the Blackguard, but they're looking to see what league they can make here in year two. They lost Tom Brady Jr. at quarterback, and it looks like they might need to be replacing him with Tim Tebow, or how about Jaquan Free-Smith Jr. This guy is, this guy, man, Jaquan Free-Smith Jr., he's got the DNA of Jaquan Free-Smith. He's got the GOAT DNA in him. He knows how to get it done. He's born with that winning DNA, man. Jaquan Free-Smith is that guy. And now they got Jaquan Free-Smith Jr. coming into the draft. Man, he can't make this up, and he's headed to Bermuda. That is crazy to see how that plays out. And here's what's nuts. Even though they got a risk-reward pick in that fourth pick in that second round, I think Bermuda might have just won that second round right there. If they can get Tom Brady Jr., Jaquan Free-Smith Jr. to work out for them, whether Lord Magnus works at all, if they can get Tim Tebow or Jaquan Free-Smith Jr. to pan out, they just got them 2 key players on offense that are just now entering the league, man. They're just rookies that can really thrive with that offensive-minded head coach in Melly Perez. The receivers are there, and already with K. Perez, man, dang, they got a good offensive lineman with Rangus. If Free-Smith Jr. and Tebow work out, the Blackguard might be able to make something happen there on offense for in a couple of seasons. It's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out, and it's going to be one that you're going to want to keep an eye out for. But here we are. We're ready to rock and roll with the third round, the final round here. We got 5 prospects still left here in the CWSFL green room waiting to hear their name called, and the Sao Paulo Pumas are on the clock first in this third round here. We'll see how they choose to play it. They have gone defense and offense here in this one. It looks like they're going to stick on the offense with Mikey Norris, a physical wide receiver, man. Not the quickest, maybe not the greatest route runner, but man, let me tell you, this guy will go up and get it. They're going to be throwing him in with the 2 young wide receivers they took in last year's draft. And now they're going to be trying to... Now they're going to try to complete this offense here. They have Jackson Graves at quarterback now. They got 3 wide receivers. They got a tight end from Montoya they got in the last round. Juan Rios at O-line. Offense is complete. Now they just got to let them grow and develop together. Now we got the black guard on the clock here for the second pick in the third round. And again, they lost some pieces on offense from probably being one of the best 3-7 teams we've ever seen. I keep saying that because, man, it's just crazy. Now, the black guard they were in a very good position coming into this offseason. They lost some pieces, man, some key pieces, and now they're refilling them. They're refilling them here in this draft, and they just got the steal of the draft here in the third round. Man, wow. That is insane. James, DeQuavion James, man. Todd Gurley plays just like him. He's going to be insane in this Bermuda offense with Ringers blocking from him. He's got the O-line. Jeez, he came on late too in the Prospect Bowls, and when he did not slow down. Got him a couple offensive MVPs. James is, I mean, how was that a lost words when he got picked, man? I can't believe he was still even on the board. I don't even know why he's on the board, but man, that is a great pickup right there for the black card. And if the black guard can get these players, man, if they get them to pan out, if they work out, black guard got a future, especially with this offensive-minded general manager, Melly Perez. Man, he's one of the best running backs we've ever seen, and now wow, that's going to be something scary. But the Berlin Hellhounds just selected Julius Glob, linebacker, coming in from North Carolina, man, was a dog there. Was a dog at North Carolina. That dude, man, you can put him on the outside. You can put him on DN if you needed to. You can put him in the middle linebacker. You can have him as your sub linebacker with on man coverage on tight ends, running backs. That dude, man, Julius was something. And that's going to be a force right there in Berlin. And you already know what they can do with their linebackers, man. They got a history of having top linebackers in the league. And now they just got Julius coming in there for probably the next 10 seasons. Wow. That's a pickup right there for Berlin. Let's see how they choose to use these rookies they got. But wow. The Bermuda Blackguard, though, they take Brandon Barber. Running back, man. After they just got James a few picks ago, they add Barber to them. They like their two running back sets. You know, they can do a lot with them, and they have a good offensive line. We're gonna have to see how they choose to do it. What's crazy is Brandon Barber was actually selected to the Bermuda Blackguard in season 12. Contracts, I guess they were working on him, just couldn't get it signed, or maybe Brandon was like, it's not the right time yet. Come get me next year. I don't know how that worked out, but Brandon Barber is going right back to Bermuda, and a year later, maybe we'll see if he can get that contract signed this time. And in the final pick here, Mr. Irrelevant going to the Argos Pegasi. We're gonna have to see what they choose to do here with Mr. Irrelevant too. But Travis King is headed to Argos Pegasi, and they already have a quarterback. Do they choose to use him as a backup, maybe develop in case L doesn't work out? Maybe Travis King switches positions. Who knows? Very athletic. Dude's got throw power for days. Some say, man, he got a stronger arm than Joe Milton. Some say he's faster than Lamar Jackson. So we'll have to see how they choose to play him. If they keep him at quarterback, or if they let him just go be an athlete somewhere on the field. But that'll do it here for the Season 13 draft at the Casual World Simulation Football League's Casual Draft Night. We appreciate everybody watching and tuning in here, because we've had an amazing draft. We've had 25 great prospects hear their name called, and they have now found out where they're going and what team they're headed. And we appreciate everybody that has been a part of this draft and that put their name into the draft as well. GMs will now be reaching out to you about contracts. Get those signed up, because, man, preseason is getting started on Wednesday. Can't wait to see those matchups and see how all these new teams are looking after this offseason.